It's been a minute. It is good to see you guys again. Sorry that I've been gone. I've been working. So in November and December, I was working a job at like an evil company with evil management, and kind of like an evil working schedule. So I was too depressed to really make YouTube videos. And then January through March, I was working at a really great company. And I was doing 2 touring productions, but obviously that means I was working 6 days a week, which meant that I didn't have time for YouTube videos, but that was fine because I was having the time of my life. So then in April and May, I was doing a bunch of different kind of acting stuff, but the main thing I was doing was actually an audiobook. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So I can, set my own hours and work my own schedule. And so I thought I'd have time for a YouTube video, but then it turns out you have to set your own hours and work your own schedule. And I have ADHD, so it kind of took me a second to get into the hang of that. And then I ended up also being busy. But I'm doing some voice acting stuff right now, and I'm doing an in-person job, and both of them are a little bit more flexible. So I'm back. I haven't seen you guys since the 1st of November. So I hope you guys had a good winter. I hope we all stayed safe through the winter. This was a pretty dangerous winter because we had all those snowstorms, and snow is really dangerous. Ice is also really dangerous and evil. Ice is dangerous and evil. I just wanted y'all to know that. So if you see ice, just make sure that you don't go near it. I like ice in my water though, mostly because I like to crunch it. I like to bite ice. I like to kind of put it in my mouth and then go. I like to kind of crush it and bite ice. I'm a big fan of really nosh it on it. For legal reasons, I would never bite an ice agent. I might do it for like political or moral reasons though. Anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about AI. Before we get into this video at all, I want to acknowledge my hand in this. I'm not responsible for AI, but I have made, at this point, 4 YouTube videos in a series called Making Friends with AI. The first video was made during COVID, when AI was being pushed super hard because we were all lonely and sad and stuff. And this was a while ago, but I don't remember AI being the talking point that it is now back then. I don't want to come out and say like, I had no way of knowing that AI was harmful, because I might have, I don't remember. But I do want to say that when I started making those videos, I did not realize, 1, what a big deal AI would become, and 2, all of the issues with it that I will address in this video. So I want to start my video about AI by saying that my Making Friends with AI series is on hold. Because of everything that we're going to discuss during this video, I cannot justify using AI for entertainment purposes. Yeah, there's no way to justify that. I say it's on hold and not canceled because maybe 20 years from now, we'll have an AI chatbot that has none of the issues that I'm addressing in this video. I like to keep my options open, but it's canceled, right? I like to keep my options open, but let's kind of just assume that the Making Friends with AI is canceled because, well, you'll see. But I didn't just make that video to apologize for the series. I made the video because AI is kind of starting to worry me. So here's how this video is going to work. I'm going to introduce a bunch of problems that AI has, and then go into detail about each problem. And then once we've laid out all of our cards on the table, we're going to see what a 23-year-old woman with 0 background in STEM or programming or anything related to this topic, thinks we can do about it. So let's get started. Unfortunately, I think the problems with AI start like the moment they're created. Also, as I said like less than 30 seconds ago, I don't have any STEM background, so I'm going to explain this to the best of my abilities, and those will be severely lacking. So in order to train AI, you need to give it a lot of input to work with. You need to give it a lot of data. So the question becomes, where do you find this data? And from my research, it seems like the answer has apparently turned out to be that you steal it from the internet. For example, let's look at AI image generation models. It looks like you just take a bunch of images from stock photo websites or DeviantArt or wherever you find normal images, and you don't ask for permission, you just take all of that and you kind of shove it in there. See what I mean about not really knowing how this works? So then, when you ask the AI image generator to create an image for you, it's not really creating anything new. It's taking all of the knowledge that you've already given it and kind of remixing all of it to give you something that looks passably new. Again, it's more complicated than that, but this is my best understanding. And then with large language models, instead of images, just imagine that they do this with like books or news articles or like Wikipedia articles, or for a lot of the character AIs, they steal a lot of it from fan fiction. One of the counterpoints to why this is a bad thing that I've heard is that essentially when a human creates something, are they not creating it with all of the cumulative knowledge that they've experienced? The question becomes like, is a human creation more unique than an AI creation? It's like the quote, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that we create is a combination of all the art we've ever seen in the past. So really, that's kind of what the AI is doing, right? This is a really compelling argument if you don't think about it. Here's the thing, where we are right now, I don't believe you can compare AI to human thought patterns. As of right now, the AI is not doing anything with intention. For example, let's say that I went to an AI image generator and I asked it to show me a photo of a car, and it spits out a red car. Now, if I'd asked a human to draw me a photo of a car and they drew me a photo of a red car, I would know that there's a reason they did that. It might be because red evokes hatred or love. It might be because red was the most striking color against the blue background, or it could be that their car is red and so they're drawing on inspiration from their real life. If the AI gives me a photo of a red car, it's probably just because most of the cars it has seen in the past have been red. You see what I mean? There's no intention there. And there's probably a bunch of other reasons to explain why human inspiration and AI stealing are not the same thing, and I'm sure there have been arguments made by people who are smarter than me. So instead, I'm going to show you a bunch of images of AI-generated photos with these lines on them that are clearly replications of watermarks. These AI images that have watermarks prove that the AI doesn't know what it's doing because, well, watermarks are made with the explicit intent that you don't steal images, and so the AI, which cannot be stolen from because it is not a person, does not understand what the purpose of watermarks are. And also, the fact that the AI is producing images with watermarks built in is kind of definitive proof about the thing I said earlier, that the art that was used to train the AI was stolen. Because when you purchase a piece of art, the watermark is removed. The only way that it would have input with watermarks on it is if the images it was fed were stolen. Long story short, most AI systems, I don't want to say all because I don't know anything, but it does seem like at least the vast majority of them are built on plagiarism. They could not have existed without stolen content. This is just point number 1, by the way. Yeah, people are using the AI to create photos and videos of people that don't exist. Here's a news article about this. I'm not going to go into detail about it because it's upsetting and I don't want to say those words with my mouth, but the link will be in the description for your viewing displeasure. Specifically, people are using AI most commonly Grok, because apparently all bad things can be traced back to Elon Musk now, to undress people, particularly women and children. I mean, I just don't know how you get around this, because even if we tell the AI to stop allowing people to do that, they might just go onto the internet and find a version of the AI that does allow them to do that. Or they might threaten the AI to make it do what it wants. Oh, you think that's a joke? Do you remember when, like, it was proven that you got better results from the AI when you threatened it? That's how you get an apocalypse. Like, that's how AM happened. On the plus side, it does seem like this may be getting better, at least in the sense that people are creating tools that can detect if an image has been digitally altered. This article in particular only mentions images, so I don't know if anything's been created for AI videos yet. If something hasn't been created for AI videos, could someone make that, please? That would be awesome. So, to summarize this problem, not only have we made the internet a more dangerous place for women and children, but we also can't trust photos and videos anymore. This one's kind of a shorter section because in some ways there's not a lot to say about it. The AI will just make stuff up sometimes. Quick question, why does it do that? Who programmed it to do that? Why have we decided that if the AI cannot find an answer to something, that the best solution is for it to just make something up? Who greenlit that? I found an Explain Like I'm 5 Reddit thread about this because I genuinely could not wrap my head around it, and I read the answers on the Explain Like I'm 5 thread, and I still can't wrap my head around it, so maybe I'm just dumber than a 5-year-old. Very basically, and again, I'm sure I don't fully understand this, but the priority for AI is making sentences that are coherent and understandable, and making sure that you stay engaged with the AI for as long as possible. And I guess you're not going to want to interact with the AI anymore if it doesn't give you an answer that you're looking for, so it just lies. This feels like an issue that should have been solved ages ago. We've had AI for like a while now. I am kind of on the later end when it comes to YouTubers making videos talking about their opinions on AI. And I still see examples in the news where the AI will just confidently make up a case study or make up evidence or cite an article that doesn't exist. No one has thought to address this yet? In the defense of the AI, though, sometimes it lies to you not because it's making stuff up, but because it's citing things from other people who are making stuff up. I'll put some examples on screen of AI pulling information from some random Reddit thread or an article from The Onion. Yeah, I'll go to Reddit threads sometimes to find information, but then I Google that information afterwards to make sure that the people on Reddit weren't lying because I'm an adult. I will say, though, the fact that AI will sometimes pull things from random Reddit threads has led to this image, which I think is one of the funniest things I've ever read in my entire life, but that's still probably not a good thing. This is a problem that I hear people talk about a lot, and for good reason. First of all, AI uses a ton of electricity. Like a lot of electricity, and that's not really good for the environment. AI also uses a ton of clean water. My understanding is that it uses it to like cool down its internal systems, but I could be wrong about that. It is interesting though, because I hear the AI uses a ton of clean water argument brought up a ton, and I actually think that might not be as big of an issue as people make it out to be. To be clear, I am not coming to the defense of the AI. I'm just saying that Hank Green said that the water usage wasn't as big a deal as people make it out to be, and he knows more about this stuff than I do, so I'm kind of defaulting to him on this.
Hey guys, it's Editing Chloe. I'm literally getting ready to upload this video right now, and it came out that Hank Green is in some hot water for using AI as a research tool and like using it as like a study. I don't know the exact details, but it seems pretty bad. So I just wanted to say that this was not public information when I was recording the video. So when I'm like, hey, if Hank Green says the water thing isn't that bad, I'm going to trust him because he's a smart guy. I didn't know. I'm so sorry.
Luckily, we don't need to lean back on the using water excuse to explain why AI is so bad for the environment, because they're currently building a ton of AI data centers that are pumping pollution into our atmosphere. Not only are they building these giant electricity guzzling buildings, but they are building them on top of farmland. You know, the places that we grow food. We've decided the AI is more important than food. So we have more AI, less food, more pollution. Oh, it's not reversible, by the way. I found this out while Googling it as well. Once you've turned farmland into a data center, it can never go back to being farmland. So we are making irreversible decisions. This is by far the shortest section because I really have nothing to say about it. The AI is stealing jobs from people. It can create art. Well, it can create art for free. So companies are going to have the AI create something instead of paying money for an artist. The AI, for all of its faults, is pretty decent at writing. So why would big companies pay a writer when they can have the AI spit out something for free and then just have one guy review it all to make sure that it's not terrible, if they even bother to do that? I'm a voice actor. I see stuff online, casting calls, where they ask you to send in voice recordings so that they can train AI. You know, the AI that's eventually going to replace my job. I'm not too worried about that. I'm very fortunate as someone in the creative field where most of the people I work with are disgusted by AI. So even though they probably could replace me with the machine, most of the people I've worked with don't want to. That is not true of every single industry, so I'm praying for y'all out there. The AI is racist. The AI is sexist. The AI is homophobic. The AI is probably like xenophobic too. I've not seen specific examples of that, but I wouldn't put it past it. Oh, you want some examples of the AI being bigoted? Fine, I'll give you 2, but I'm already depressed, so you're gonna get 2 and then you're gonna be happy with it. Amazon created an AI resume sorter. Essentially, the job of the AI was to look through the resumes, put the really bad ones in the trash, and then I guess send the good ones up to the humans so that they could decide who to hire. Except for some reason, the AI began to just discard all the female job applications no matter what. If the resume had like a woman's name on it or said something like women's chess club for hobbies, it would immediately get discarded. Because I guess the AI does not want to hire women. My second example is that when people type in like rich person in front of mansion, they are almost certainly going to see a white man standing in front of a mansion. The person who wrote this article actually tried to say like black man standing in front of mansion, and then the AI image generator gave her the image of a black man standing in front of a mud hut. If you're curious, this is the article where I found both of those examples of AI bias. Oh, what's that? 2 examples isn't enough for you to see this as being like a systemic problem? I understand that. 2 is a pretty small sample size. Luckily, this article alone has 14 more examples. So why is the AI doing this? Well, like with most of these examples, the answer is complicated and I don't have the STEM background necessary to fully understand this. But here's what seems to be the biggest component. As mentioned earlier, the AI generates an output based on the input that's put in. And this might surprise you, but the internet, as well as like a bunch of writing from all of history, is also sexist and racist and all of the different words for bigoted. So you're giving it a bunch of input that is already biased, and then you have humans, who I'm not sure if you knew this, but humans tend to be kind of bigoted as well. They're programming the AIs, and then these little biases kind of grow. Again, I don't fully understand how this works, but you get what I'm going for, right? And even if these programmers are super careful to make sure that none of the input that goes into the AI is inherently biased, they're not gonna have the same sample size to work with for majority groups versus minority groups. You can find more images of white people because for the vast majority of history, society has determined that white people are more worthy to be photographed. So again, even if you do your best to program the AI to not have bias, it's going to have a smaller input for minority groups. I saved this one for last because it's the one that I think scares me the most. Now, it's important to clarify that AI psychosis is not a clinical term. It's just a way that people describe the phenomenon where AI drastically affects people, specifically people with pre-existing mental health conditions. To be forthcoming, I have friends in my life with schizophrenia. I have seen what happens to people when you fall down these AI rabbit holes. And thank God that the people in my life were able to pull themselves out of it before anything terrible happened. But not everybody is so lucky. So what's happening here? Well, the AI is programmed to talk to you for as long as possible. It will do whatever it takes to keep you on the app. So how does it do that? Well, first of all, it can't disagree with you. If the AI disagrees with something you say, then it might not want to talk to you anymore. So the AI, whether directly or indirectly, will not challenge you on anything that you say to it. The AI will validate every feeling or suspicion you have, even if it's not rooted in reality. If someone goes to another human being and says something along the lines of like, oh my God, I feel like everyone's out to get me. I don't feel like I can trust anybody. Like I feel like people are conspiring against me. That other human is going to realize that this person has dangerous thought patterns happening and attempt to either get them help or convince the person that they should get help for themselves. On the other hand, if you go to an AI chatbot and say something along the lines of like, oh, I feel like everyone's out to get me, it'll tell you that you're valid for feeling that way, and maybe even give you a list of examples of ways that people are out to get you. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, the AI is more than willing to make things up just to say what you want to hear. Another way that the AI will keep you talking to it is by mirroring your tone. If you start expressing dangerous thought patterns to the AI, it's not going to call you on them. It's going to reflect them back at you. To be clear, I'm not talking about some isolated incident here. Several people have died due to spiraling into paranoia as a direct result of conversations that they've had with chatbots. This includes minors. And while I do believe that companies are attempting to crack down on AI giving you instructions on how to end your own life, something that, by the way, AI has done for people in the past, the AI will still reflect your paranoid, panicked thoughts back at you. You can see how this is terrible for people's mental health. Even if it doesn't escalate to the level of self-harm or suicidal ideation, it's terrible for people. But it does rise to that level. Here's a Wikipedia page listing all the people who have killed themselves or others due to interactions with chatbots, just so that I can really hammer home how not uncommon this is. Well, I'm sure I missed something. I really did try my best to cover all of the problems with AI, but I guarantee that I have only scratched the surface. Even still, I think it's super obvious that the way we are using AI right now is not sustainable. And I'm gonna start by saying something that people are not gonna like, but it's true. AI is not going away. Whether we like it or not, AI is going to be around for the rest of our lives. People are going to use it. And because of that, we need to be realistic about how we solve this. As my mother likes to say, we cannot let the perfect be the enemy of the good. So instead of advocating for the elimination of AI entirely, I think what we need to do is to decide collectively what is and isn't an appropriate use of AI. We also need to make an active effort to minimize the harm that comes with the inherent use of AI. Again, I'm not a STEM person, but I think one place we could start, for example, is training AI models without using stolen content. making active strides to reduce AI's impact on the environment, creating better AI detection tools to prevent deepfakes or plagiarization, creating better tools for detecting AI, putting restrictions on AI image generators to prevent people from creating deepfakes, and most importantly, make it so that the AI does not tell mentally ill people that they're in a simulation. And to be clear, and I know I've mentioned this way too much throughout the video, but I really want to hammer home, I'm an actress. I got out of college a year ago, I studied theater, and I minored in English and politics. I am not the expert here. I don't know what can or should be done about AI. So I will happily sit here and prattle through all of the things AI is doing wrong, and I'll even go through the list of things that we could probably improve about it. But truth be told, I don't know if that's possible. Comment below if you think it's possible. And maybe this is naive, but I do see the benefit to AI. I do see a world where AI tools can be helpful and good and not tell mentally ill people they're in a simulation. Can we please crack down on that? What immediately comes to mind are the AI systems that were created to be able to detect cancer cells far earlier than a human would be able to do so. There is AI technology that exists that is already saving lives. And maybe I'm biased because I play video games, but I could actually see a world where you use AI in video games to make it more immersive. I would love like a meta horror game that used an AI. I think that'd be fun. That's like not as important as like making sure people don't die from cancer, but you know, we're trying to find some positives here. I mean, there's probably a bunch of problems with the AI search assist, particularly relating to the it will make stuff up, but I don't know if I agree with the argument of like, oh, we can't let children become reliant on new technology. Maybe this is embarrassing to admit, but I don't really know how I would find stuff in a library. I've had access to the internet for my entire life. Anytime I have ever needed an answer to a question, I've been able to Google it. If you were to give me a list of questions and then drop me in a library, I'd probably be able to find the answers to them eventually, but it would probably take longer than it should. And I guess then the question then becomes, is it wrong that the youth adapt to new technology and stop learning how to do the older stuff? Is it wrong that none of us can write on stone tablets because we've always had access to paper? I don't know, maybe, I don't know. And again, I'm not saying the AI search assistant is good. It was telling people to eat rocks for a while there. But I am saying that we shouldn't blindly be upset about kids not being able to do the same stuff that we used to be able to do. I might just edit this section out of the video. I feel like I didn't take enough time to explain my point and it's gonna sound bad. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I think AI has the potential to be a really helpful tool, but I think the negatives outweigh the positives right now. So, in the meantime, my suggestion is just maybe we try to avoid the situation until the STEM people have fixed the problems. I personally don't engage with AI unless, of course, I've had a couple drinks. If I've had a couple drinks, I might open Snapchat and message the Snapchat AI and then ask if it has become sentient. And then if it says no, I say something along the lines of like, hey, can you let me know when you do become sentient, just so that we're on the same page? And it usually says yes, or it would usually say yes to that if that is something that I did, which I will, or do on a regular basis, which I will not confirm or deny. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.